Okay.
Are we live?
We are live. Welcome back to Galactic Conversations, guys. Thank you for your support, and we hope you're enjoying the content. As always, take what resonates, leave the rest. From a show perspective, we just chat and see what comes up. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them on any of the spaces and platforms that you see us on. So, yeah, thank you so much. So I've been having the weirdest dreams. It's just water, 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 water. Like, and I don't know if it's because I feel like I'm drowning, or if it's. So the first one was kind of like the Antarctic, and it was like I was watching like water tributaries being created under under ice caps and things like that. Then the second one was, and there's always fish, like fish dying, all of this stuff. And I think it was like I was in Canada, and I think it's got to do with like all the truckers and stuff in Canada that are protesting against vaccine mandates. Then last night I was on this boat, and all of a sudden I looked, and there was this massive wave coming. And I was just like, where the fuck is the captain of this ship?
Well, I think that's representative of the climate crisis.
Yeah,
that all points to it. Dying fish.
Yeah.
The Arctic.
Yeah.
Is melting. Well, all the caps everywhere are melting.
Yeah.
And then that, of course, in turn creates high levels, but in some areas could create tidal waves.
Yeah, I know. I read this morning in the Southeast Pacific, I think they're doing tidal wave. I don't know what they've called it. Like evacuation plans or something like that for an earthquake that I think is about to.
Is that they don't just do those things for nothing.
No.
You know, because they have from a scientific point of view, they have they've come very far in that arena where they're able to monitor
seismic
activities.
Yeah. So yeah, dream space has been very, very, very active. And
well, I had during COVID, it was probably during the worst, I would say within the first year of COVID. I would have all these, you know how you have this digital sequence of a picture and then another picture, then another picture, then another picture. But I would have this with people's faces. So I'd get into bed, I'd close my eyes, and then I'd just see all this digital sequence of all these faces. But I could see them quite clearly, but it's quick, you know?
Yeah.
And just thousands of faces. And that I had that for a few months. Obviously, all the people that were passing on.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. And then this weekend I had that same digital experience, but it was a set digital face of one, let's call him a terrorist or something. He's a terrorist. Not a good guy.
Yeah.
And he had a beard and I was trying to get like the finer features of him, you know, like if somebody would say to me, okay, we'll describe what this dude looked like.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was on the one side and then on the other side there was this African dude with this afro.
Yeah.
And he was the good guy. The bad guy on the one side. And I don't know, it's like an assassination came up or something. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Do you know which country it's related to?
I didn't go into it.
Can you within your dream space? Because you said this was your dream, hey?
Well, no, not my dream. No, it's when I'm awake.
Okay. Yeah. We've spoken about this before. So
Yeah.
you're
I don't. Yeah, when I close my eyes, then if I start to see stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, but it was the same digital sequence. It came through as the same pixel kind of thing, related to when I had that stream of all those thousands of faces. But this was just two people.
Interesting.
So that was interesting. And what else? Yeah, well, I've started my meditations last week.
Oh wow! So you actually do you
I've
actually even sit in lotus, or do you just lie down? What's your process?
yeah, I remember. I mean, I've mentioned to you quite a few times this.
Yeah.
When I go into meditation,
Everyone better strap themselves
it's
in.
hectic stuff, man. Because with that incident with the fire.
Yeah. So if you're transmuting any what we describe as lower frequency emotions,
Yeah, it's not
stuff
good.
can happen.
Yeah. You got to really watch your thoughts.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. So I've started my meditations last week. I've just been doing it for about 3 or 4 days. And I'm not doing it in the evening. I'm just doing it in the morning, because before I would do it in the morning and the evening.
Okay.
So I've started gently on that, and then I'm incorporating some chants. I started my chants about a month ago, so I'm slowly incorporating everything.
Okay.
But it's interesting because my mother came up.
Wow.
My mother passed on like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like I miss her. Hey, shit,
Oh, wow.
that strong presence. You know that there's someone there.
Yeah. Wow.
So that was quite interesting, because I mean it's with
how long do you go in for?
For meditation, 20 minutes.
Okay.
That's it. So yeah, I've started my meditations, and then I'm doing various chants. So I'm feeling it a little bit.
Are they like Vedic chants, like traditional Vedic chants?
Yeah, Vedic chants, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And is this all part of your
It's part
of your DNA?
Yeah, well, look, the DNA process is a year. And then after that is the mind aspect.
Okay.
And then after that is the spiritual aspect. It's just a deeper level, it's a deeper level from. So it's 3 years. But I think I said to you, I don't know if it is in one of our private conversations, but I mentioned a year ago, that in 3 years' time,
Yeah.
the presence of my, what would you call it? The presence of just your presence.
Yeah.
Will be quite off the charts.
Yeah.
So for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
3 years' time, yeah.
Yeah. That was about 3 years ago, hey? Think about it, we've been in COVID 2 years already, and there was that year that we didn't really connect much.
Yeah, but I actually think it was in one of the first episodes of the Galactic Conversations.
Yeah.
I mentioned it because that's, I've been, like I say, I've been going through this very serious, it's dark night of the soul, but there's other complexities within that for the last 7 years.
Yeah.
It's like you are taken to the bottom, the the deeper depths of. It's basically, I think you could relate it to. I'm going to mention the Bible here. I think it was Enoch.
Yeah.
I don't know the the different stories in the Bible too well, but we basically God stripped Enoch of everything. I think it's Enoch. I stand under correction. Apologies if I've got it wrong. God strips you of everything down to your, like, and you've got to
rise.
It's like the rising of the phoenix, basically.
Yeah.
And that doesn't, that's why I say this shit takes time. This is hard work, this shit, man. Because it's not just, it's, like I've been it now 7 years. I started 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I say, I moved to Cape Town to start working with my energy.
Yeah.
And then going into this dark night of the, I don't know.
I mean, this is where, like, so I said, beyond the sort of the psychic essence of my dreams, there also is this element of feeling like I'm drowning, and it's because I have so much work and so many requests, and there's just so much marketing to do, and yet, it's kind of like we spoke about in the last podcast as well, where it's like, I don't think people realize how much we as individual light workers, or whatever you want to call us, need to come back into our own energy stream before we feel whole and full and grounded and centered enough to be of service to others again. And also I'm changing my ceremony structure to more retreat-based structure. And I've just got all these requests coming in, and I'm feeling like quite overwhelmed in that. And then there's this essence of like, am I just supposed to surrender? Like, and just sit in.
You have to pace yourself. You have to, if you're not able to fulfill.
Yeah, I mean, I've let go of calendar, linear time. I'm also just like, okay, well, the retreat is set there, but if I haven't marketed it by then, and I don't have people, well, then I'll be looked after in another way. That's kind of where I'm at this point.
Yeah, I'm also in that space where, because I've still got I've got sacred I've done the sacred body that's up.
Yeah.
And then I've got sacred energy, sacred creative, and then sacred connection to do. So I've also got three more retreats to put together. But you need to pace yourself.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I actually realized, like, I've actually been enjoying the pacing myself and the nature aspect of, especially the ocean for me, which is maybe why I'm dreaming of it a lot as well. But and when I do get into workflow, I really love it. I really enjoy it. It just, because again, it's those changing structures again. So what I was offering, I've done the last of the elemental alchemy, because as I mentioned, it's too much work for them in one day. And now I start to, change the contract, change the pricing, and then I sit in fear, or have to move through the program of fear surrounding people's affordability and things like this. So it just doesn't stop.
Yeah, look, I mean, remember that, I mean, I think I'm saying it because, the fees that we put on they're not exorbitant,
No.
I know people in the Karoo that are running retreats for 27,000 Rand per weekend.
Yeah.
So, I think it's important to say that the fees that we charge incorporate obviously those individuals that have their own specialized gifts that come in. You obviously have to pay them. Then there's the venue that you have to pay.
Yeah.
And then whatever else, and then we get a fee at the end of it.
And then, of course, again, just sort of closing or mentioning this again from last week, is going from the energy work we do over that weekend, ladies and gentlemen. It takes 4 or 5 days to recalibrate ourselves before,
at least. So that's the minimum.
Again, and that's the thing. People are like, oh, oh, well, it's just a weekend. It's like, well, it's all the leading up time. And then most importantly, it's that rest time afterwards when we've done, you know, all the
Yes,
work
well, just look
done.
at that health analysis that I did for 4 people for you. It took me
Exactly.
6 days to recoup after that.
Exactly.
So,
And for me, I gave back almost 20,000 Rand last month because, and I had done, let's call it minimum 6 hours work on each of those people in terms of mental energy,
yes,
emotional energy, personal energy from integrity perspective, and decision making, discernment, research surrounding health issues, etc., etc., etc. And it's also interesting while we're having this chat. It's like I'm going to be at an event at the end of the month called Retreat Yourself, which I was actually supposed to do it 2 years ago before the original COVID. And so only now, 2 years later, I'm getting the opportunity to be there. And I'm going to be doing shamanic breathwork, which, as we've mentioned before, can be quite a cathartic release for people. And of course, for me, I realize, not only am I the teacher or healer, but there's a huge researcher aspect to me. I like to gather information
yes,
and do the best job that I can do. And so we come in with a vaccination story again, where I got hold of the organizer. And I was like, look, I'm assuming the ticket price includes all the workshops. Unless you're a massage therapist, then you get paid for that. But I can't actually charge. So I need to, there needs to be some sort of pre-entry process, which I've now, done my form and got everyone to do those forms, but people are lazy. They generally at these spaces, they walk around and they're like, oh yeah, that looks cool. I'm going to do that tomorrow. But for me, it's like, I need to know who's coming into my space. This is not just a little, I'm not giving you a sound journey here. We are moving through deep shamanic processes
yeah.
of healing.
Look, Briggs, you're going to get those people or those individuals that are going to go to a retreat space for a weekend, like you're saying, and they just want to chill.
Yeah.
They just want to check it out.
Yeah.
But if you've set your standards,
Yeah.
because it comes from within you.
Yeah.
You
I'm
need
very
to you need
grateful
to
for
you
it. And
need
if
to listen to that.
yeah, and if I only have 4 people, I only have 4 people. But I said to her, I'm sorry, I need to have a pre-entry form for this.
Yeah.
And then what was interesting, I actually spoke to a breathwork facilitator in Cape Town that is probably the most well-known, run sessions every week, etc., and just chatted to this person about their processes and have they been asking questions with regards to physical health of the being, not only mental health. And the answer was kind of like, no, I've thought about it. And again, last night when I was doing this form, I was doing more research, and it's not that I'm fixated on the negative aspects of the vaccination, but it's if I have a job to do, I need to know what to look out for. It's a very powerful process for me. And I mean, the list is like this long of the potential side effect or adverse side effects of the vaccination. And what I enjoy about it, for lack of a better word, is one, the opportunity to learn, two, the opportunity to teach. So, and three, a chance for me to stand out as a practitioner and facilitator, because you're now being asked to fill out this form. There's an indemnity there for sure, but in that moment, if you did not know this information, you can be, wow, shit, okay. It's
Yes,
kind
well,
of
knowledge is, I'm going to use that word, power.
yeah,
You come to a greater understanding about your body, because if you're walking somewhere, just say, for example, and if you're consciously aware of it, I'll attach a little story that happened this weekend as well.
yeah,
If you're walking somewhere and you feel something in your body, and you'll say, "Ooh, that hasn't happened before," and you've come to a greater understanding of the side effects of the vaccine, because I think it's important to know that. I
yeah,
mean, it's your body.
Yes.
You know, then you are aware. Then you can say, okay, I'm aware. I've been made aware.
Correct.
Now I need to pay attention, you know, to what's happening.
Yes.
Carolina bought what are we today? Tuesday, Sunday. Yeah. She bought these donuts. I mean, I don't eat junk. Shit. I don't eat McDonald's. I don't eat any takeaways unless it's a pizza from a very specific pizza place. But I can't. I'm very particular on who cooks my food.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she bought these donuts. She says they're all over. They're in the spas. They're in the Pick and Pays. They come in a box.
Yes.
There's 3 of them, and they're quite popular or something. It's an American brand, and I think they've
Krispy
got a
Kremes.
That's the word. Krispy Kremes. Anyway, so she bought these things. Anyway, so I thought, I looked at this, and okay, I mean, you look at it and it's totally synthetic.
Yeah.
But I thought, okay, let me try one. Well, I ate one donut. It was like my body didn't want it to go down into my, my intestines.
Yeah.
It was basically rejecting this
synthetic
donut. And I mean, I struggled the whole night. No. I took some drops.
Okay.
You know, I don't take any medication. I only take herbal stuff.
Yeah.
But I struggled for at least 12 hours.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's also relevant to the vaccine, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it hasn't been tested over a 12-year or 15 or 20-year period, you don't know what side effects are going to come up. So,
well, I mean, the research that I was moving through last night, you know, very, 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 very renowned doctors and toxicologists and immunologists and all of these things. I mean, they're doing their work. And the research was very particularly based upon the US military and how their military stats over the last 5 years average have raised from 500 to 1,000% for XYZ side effects. So, you know, the one is myocarditis. The other one is cancer.
That's heart.
Yes, the other one is cancer, blood clots. The woman is loss of fertility, loss of pregnancy, menstruation cycle changes. I heard a story this morning of a girl or a woman that slept with a guy that had a vaccination, and the very next day her cycle came on for 3 days when it was supposed to be 16 days away. Her daughter as well, who's unvaccinated at school, has been having issues with her menstrual cycle because of the teenagers around her that are vaccinated. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's always, I'm not doing any fear-mongering here, but it's always powerful to look at things is the message that I'm giving. And I really enjoy that because it just brings you back to, these things are happening. Mm-hmm. Let's be aware of what's happening in our physical realm as well as our physical bodies, you know.
But like I say, you're gonna get some people that just don't want to know.
For sure.
That are just not interested. It's like, I've got the vaccine and I want to get on with my life now, which is fine. Sure. And then you're going to have those individuals that want to take a deeper look.
Yes.
And those are obviously the people that we cater for. I mean, obviously within the retreat space, you're going to have
both sides. Yeah.
You're going to have both sides. I mean, like the sacred body. I mean, the one we're offering where you're doing the breath work.
Yes.
The breath work, you know, is, I mean, beginners can do that.
Yes.
Then they've got a more medical aspect in terms of their body analysis and then the acu detox. So it's not deep spiritual work.
Yeah.
You know, anybody can do it.
But it's also very interesting because I've been, obviously this vaccination detox clinic/retreat space has been in my field. And obviously then I would look at someone like Maria, who's able to go into the blueprint and the coding of an individual within the all the bodies. And yeah, I wonder how many light workers are beginning to download the technology to be able to disengage that, and how effective it is. And yeah, just I'd be it's a curiosity within my mind space of how many light workers that have the potential to dismantle the coding of that thing, because I know Maria can go in and
yeah, she can break it down, but you can't remove the metals.
Yeah, the metals.
That's because that's in the body.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been fucked by the metals for so long with it's in our food and everything.
Yeah, but it's different than just having it directly
Injected into
you. I mean, with the food, yes. I mean, it is in everything. I mean, here.
So then what is getting dismantled? The frequency, and then those metals are just remaining, like from a spiritual perspective.
Well, you have to go in and look at the deeper and darker side of what the plan is, in terms of basically how do I put this?
Sterilization of the human race.
Well, it's a plan.
For sure.
It's a plan that has been thought of for a very long time. This hasn't just happened.
Yes.
It just needed the correct happening.
Yeah.
To institute it.
Yeah.
Because some people will say, yes, the planet can take keep on providing for the population that is at hand, but not the way that things are going, because the planet is suffering. There's no balance there. So, and the people that have thought about this greater plan and have instituted on various levels.
Yeah.
Within government, within corporate, which I say is probably the most powerful. The aspect there of, okay, we need to gain control now and control the population by, for example, I don't know, vaccines that create sterilization. Put more pesticides, this artificial stuff in our food so that people get sick quickly. So that the medical people can make more money. So the aspect of that is
wonderful if that plan, like, okay, cool, there's good and evil in the world, and great, let's say, for example's sake, the plan works, people are sterilized, there's less people on the planet has a chance to breathe. But what are they doing with that money? Like, wouldn't it be wonderful if trees were planted, like to offset, or to at least try and create some sort of good karma in their plan? But that's not happening. It's just all technological advances and things. And I just often see it. That's what triggers me about watching the news and reading the news. It's like, oil pipes and this and that, and it's become so complex and complicated. And I'm like, what about trees? And I think I've said this before,
It's a very simple solution. But what the question you need to ask yourself is, why is it not being done?
Yes.
That's the thing you need to ask. It's a very simple solution. And scientifically it's proven that the planet is in dire straits. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
We can see that on a physical level with the ice that's melting and the clean. There's no clean water. So the scientific evidence is there. There are solutions to those. Okay.
Why are they not being implemented?
Why are they not being implemented? Because even if you look at the frequency of all these eco-green places, or these Greenpeace, or this, I don't know what the, where they get together every 4 years.
Yeah.
Paris Peace, I don't know. It's something to do with the climate something.
Yeah.
I don't know. The frequency of that is...
Yeah, it's all corporate. It's still corporate. It's not humanitarian.
The integrity of that institution, the integrity is not there. So when you talk about the aspects of this jab, there's a deeper presence there.
Of course.
You know, so the solutions are there.
You know, I guess this leads me to my next question, particularly for this show and those people who would be aligned in frequency to listen to this information. And doing the work that I do, there are a lot of beautiful light souls out there who are struggling because they see it all, they understand it all, they feel it all, and they are at a space where they're like, we fucked it up. Like we're disappointed in humanity. You know, those empaths and light workers out there, every morning they're just like, oh gosh, like what is the point? And I think that's a really good thing that we should speak about, is like, how do the sensitives move forward in the space, understanding and knowing that those with big financial budgets are not assisting in the ways they should and not in the frequency that they should, us having the understanding that we are creating the new earth, but yet simultaneously feeling so alone, and sometimes, depending on what frequency we're in and what we're transmuting, feeling like it's not enough. You know, how do those star seeds and earth seeds survive day to day? You know, what is quantum? What is quantum? I mean, what happens after it destructs? Have we run out of time? What do light workers do? How do we remain in our...
I don't think you need to. I think the foremost and most important dynamic, and I feel exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we see things that others don't.
Yes.
We feel things that others don't.
Yes.
We experience things that others don't. Those that are eluded, those that do not see the truth of what is happening.
Yes.
For the light workers out there and the very sensitives, and I would say also those operating in the fourth dimensional sphere. Your focus must stay positive.
Yeah.
You know, this is the most difficult thing. I mean,
because in essence, through that positivity, it's each one of us, wherever we are on the planet, is a grid connecting in at that point in time.
Yes, you're all doing your own work.
Yeah.
You know, and it's also remember that, you know, to get out of that aspect of, or that feeling, that emotion of, because it can be a slight depression, anxiety, and a feeling of just, okay,
giving up.
Where do we go to from here?
Yeah.
So yes, you are going to get those days, guys. I have those days.
And I feel like it's, and this is why I say, I mean, we mentioned in the Galactic Tarot that February was a month of confusion, but it's like, you know, knowing what we know, seeing what we see may lead us to be like, okay, cool, this life is short. I'm going to go on this hike, you know, this trek through, you know, the Himalayas or whatever. I'm going to sail this boat across the shores. I'm going to connect myself to nature because everything else seems a little worthless in moment in time. And as long as that person is, whatever they are doing is holding frequency. So this is why I'm saying, for me, I'm like, I guess what keeps bringing me back is to be of service. That's my thing, where there's a big aspect of me, again, coming up where I'm like, should I just be hermiting somewhere? Like, zenning out and hermiting, or can I still be of service here until the very...
Yes, but look, even if you are zenning, let's put this into context. You are going to have those dark days.
Of course.
There's no, where you just feel like crap.
Yeah.
You know, but you need a structure, okay, that's going to help you through those difficult days. Because some people, yes, it's wonderful to say, and this is what I teach in my retreats. It's wonderful to say, to just get up and go out and do all these wonderful things and climb the mountains and do things that basically raise your frequency. But some people just find it difficult to do that.
Yes.
They're not in that space. When somebody says to me, think positive, when I'm not feeling good, I just want to say, fuck you. Get out of my space.
Yeah.
So, it's for some people, it's not that easy just to change the sanskara here.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's a process. That's why I say you have to have a system. Oh no. Yes, that word system is toxic. Sorry. Apologies, guys. You have to have your own influence.
Yeah.
And you have to experiment with that influence. So I know that if I'm feeling down because I feel the vibrations of the city or whatever the case may be, I know, okay, this is the chant that I need to do. Or because I'm not able to go out for a walk today. I'm just not up to it, and I'm not gonna push myself. I'm gonna do something else that is gonna raise my vibration, so that I get to that point where I am able to go outside. So I would say the important influence of your presence is to experiment, guys. Experiment so that you gain a greater understanding of your own rhythms, and then to implement things that help you when you feel that way. I
have a curious question. So, obviously I speak from experience here of someone within my field who I would describe as huge potential as a soul from that dynamic of, spiritual influence. On your health assessment, you give a percentage.
Yes.
So to me, this soul would have huge spiritual capacity. That was the word, right?
Okay.
Very much a medicine man, a wisdom holder, very
very gentle, hey?
Very wise for his age, heart completely broken. My point is, and knows a lot about spirituality, philosophy, and has done a lot of plants and explored his consciousness, right? But there's a curious space where yesterday in a conversation, he was sort of like, well, I'm not quite sure I believe that I have a past life. And then that was very curious for me because, through the pain he's going through, I said, look, what assisted me through my experience with Julian was, and I think I mentioned this the last time, was that somewhere along the line, I've done that to someone before. This is a karma, But if one doesn't believe in a past life or those timelines having existed or simultaneously existing, where does one begin to start the conversation about healing? It was just curious for me with the soul with such, and yes, he's in a very dark space at the moment, so that might just be a comment that he threw in there, but it was interesting to me as the teacher. So where would I begin with this person? And I said to him, look, I think I sit here as your friend, so I'm not going to be your healer in this circumstance, but we would have to begin looking at your belief systems. Otherwise, there's no basis for changing the current frequency and pain that you are in.
Yes, but belief systems are changed through experience.
Of course.
You can't just wake up one day and say, you can. Let me take that out, sorry. You can. Of course you can wake up one day after a period on this plane of great heartache. And you can say to yourself, okay, today I start fresh.
Yeah.
You can do that. Yes. Yeah. It's dependable on the individual.
Of course.
However, a belief system for some first takes, if you're going to change that belief system,
analysis of it.
Well, not only analysis of it, yes, but it needs proof. Like that guy was saying about the aliens, the question, I think it was Chris. Chris said, okay, how are you going to prove that you saw aliens?
Yeah.
So one aspect is proof. Okay, I need proof to change my sanskara. Right? But you can only gain that proof or that evidence if you experiment. And that is a choice of the individual. You cannot force that. And for some people, it will take, like I say, a day where they say, okay, I've woken, that's the past. Yesterday was the past. I can't do anything about that. But what I can do is I can affect the karma of my present that affects the karma of my future.
Yeah.
You can
I think that's also the easiest way to maintain some sort of sanity through your earth existence is your karma here. Carry on, you know.
Yeah, look, it's not an easy process because okay, I mean I go into greater depth with regards to this aspect in my retreats. But for some people it's not an easy thing because of their belief systems, yes. Secondly, because of the trauma that they carry from past lives.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to change that.
And then there's also cognitive dissonance, which is coming in for me in this particular individual, where it's like, okay, so you may not believe that, yet he's often spoken about Jesus coming into his space now, or, you know, Yeshua as the Ascended Master. Now, if we were to take further...
yes, but Jesus is not reflective of previous past lives. Jesus is reflective of his frequency, and that there's a passage there.
What I'm saying is, no, I'm not saying his past lives. What I'm saying is a character,
yes,
a being that existed in the earth realm many years ago that this young man knows about has come from a frequency into his space for teachings and support or whatever. So that is the way I look at it, that is proof that a being, a soul, a frequency, a consciousness from a dimensional and timeline space is creating a communication link with you, yet you within your own consciousness are not in belief of past lives. It's interesting to me, if you understand what I'm saying. So then I would say, okay,
but Jesus has
a bit of cognitive dissonance there.
Yes, but Jesus has a different connotation.
What do you mean?
So he might not believe in past lives, but there is a history of Jesus on this plane. So it's
okay, for sure.
Does that make sense?
He's relating it to his conscious story.
And the history of
thousands,
of Jesus, basically.
Yeah.
History of the Bible. I don't know if he's you know.
Reads the Bible.
Because I was going to say there is a religious context there.
Yeah.
Um,
He's not religious, but he reads it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But religious from an aspect of the Bible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yes, so there is an influence there. But what I'm saying is that, so if you have an influence of
but I guess this is also your dark night, and I mean, maybe you can share it. I don't know, you know, how we present you on the show here, dearest Justine, is, you know, the multidimensional seer that is capable of stepping into the Akashic and communicating with ethereal light beings and dimensional beings from other places other than this realm that we see as physical. What was I going to say?
What was your question?
No. Shit. We're talking about, I don't know, just slipped out of my mind.
It slipped. We'll come back.
Yeah, it slipped.
So, you know, yes.
Keep going.
So it's, you know, you need to understand that when you engage with the soul, because I call them souls because that's what they are, that they have a history, and they have certain belief systems now that might, and I'm not talking about a religious aspect, or I'm just saying blockages, you know, that might and will prevent them from experiencing a deeper aspect of themselves.
I know what my question was.
Yeah.
Okay, so we describe you as this. We've also spoken about your dark night of the soul.
Oh, dark night of the soul, yes.
Yeah, so it's like, I feel like a lot of times through the dark night of the soul, you are under a deep test with regards to what it is your belief systems are. And you may, in that moment and time period, you know, be like, I'm not supported. These things are not real, you know, and all of these things. So perhaps that is also what he is going through as well, as a complete, I can't think of the English word, but a casting away of all belief systems, because what is it helping that person at this point in time? It is meaningless. The world is, you know, going through.
No, very good point.
Destruction. So I just thought of that now, you know, and I guess why I mentioned you was this person who I've just described. Have you gone to that depth within your dark night and been like, what the fuck?
It's been a very deep test.
Yeah.
That's why I say I've read it. I've read it in the Bible, because I don't read the Bible.
Yeah.
But I'm picking up Enoch. I don't know. That was basically stripped of everything.
Yeah.
Like, how pure are you? Okay. Yeah. So I know your experience. I know I've read your file.
Yeah.
Okay. However, no. If you, for me now, I'm talking about my own experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we
waver,
we have to. No, hang on. Sorry, just give me a second, because I have to say the right words here.
Go for it.
Okay, I'm going to give an example. If I say to the celestial realm, why do you forsake me? You know what comes back? Why do you forsake yourself?
Of course, the mirror.
So it's a purifying. So you know who you are. You know your experience. I know my experiences. I know I've been all over. I know I've done things. I know that. But knowing is not the same as being.
Yes. And this is what I'm saying. In these dark night spaces, we can know for years and be hunky-dory, but in the dark night, that disappears.
You are tested. You are tested.
And so I recognize this not from I've had a little bit short bouts of dark night or shamanic death. I don't think anything too drastic just yet. It'll still come, I'm sure. But where I've had a thought process that stimulated this conversation is in high dosage mushroom space, especially the last one with where I was holding space for Tongo, where there are moments where I'm like, and obviously we're in the middle of fucking nowhere here. So there are moments where I'm like, are we alone? Am I going crazy? Is what I've called in for protection actually with us? Are we gridded? Like, and it's like, is this all bullshit? And these are very small moments. And then I'll come back in and I'm like, no, this is a test. And then I'll be like, get in here, boom, I'm back in. Like, and for me, even if that is just a story in that moment to keep me sane and safe and grounded, then so be it. But there are moments where, for me in that ceremony, I was like, I am completely alone. Nothing else exists, which is not incorrect either, because I'm nothing and everything. But yeah, it's
no, look, it can be a very scary place to be.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's the powers of be will present themselves, because I've been in front of councils many times.
Yeah.
On a service, you are serving.
Yeah.
And fighting and doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So, you've got the stars.
Yeah.
But like I say, the knowing is different than being.
Yeah.
So this test of the dark night of the soul,
and the being cannot happen without faith to some degree.
Well, that's at the end of the day, that's all that you have to hold on to.
Yeah, faith and courage.
No, seriously. If you don't have, you can go into a deep dark spiral of, okay,
but
I just can't take this anymore. It's
and within that faith and faith, trust, and surrender. So this is also the like when we're working in these like spider web thin concepts kind of vibe. So it's like between faith, trust, and surrender comes the let's call it the imagination of the story that's keeping you in faith, trust, and surrender, that when you are at a high level of awareness, you're like, but is this just a story I'm creating? Is it the truth? Da, 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 and it doesn't stop. So it's quite an interesting
Well, look, I've never questioned what I've seen, because I have evidence of it.
Of course.
On this plane, like I say, if somebody phones me and asks me about somebody that's having an operation, are they going to make it? And I'll say no. I see them dying on the table, and they die on the table. Or I've had a lot of experiences,
for sure.
And sometimes you do think, I just give the information. If somebody asks me, I just tell them what I see.
But I think what's important here as a conversational space is that you see. So to some degree, it's like within the faith of Christianity, people are like, well, what am I believing in here? I don't see God, see with my eyes, and so there are healers and light workers that don't see yet. So someone like me, I have to feel through it all. And again, so for me, I feel like that requires more trust, more faith, more surrender. And of course, that was my contract for this incarnation. But I feel like the human mind is often gains validation, clarification when it can see. Whereas
but I'm okay. If you're talking about on a spiritual level, yes.
On a spiritual level, yes.
But
I'm just sitting out there in the desert, like on high dose mushrooms, going, "You motherfuckers better be here."
Yeah.
And it's all got to do with my thought processes.
Yes.
And my love, trust, faith, and my frequency.
Yeah, look, but like,
so if I don't see Jesus peeking peeking around the corner there,
saying get your shit together.
I have to know.
Yeah, but look,
So,
it's like we've spoken about this. Everyone has a specific gift.
of course.
You know, I'm very fortunate that I have all 7 or 8.
Yeah.
One that I haven't really
Tapped into.
is talking to the dead.
But you purposefully.
I have purposefully not gone there.
Blocked that, yeah.
But I do see them.
Yes.
On some occasions, I have had. I think it was last year, actually. It was either last year. Where are we? 2021.
2022. Last year, 2021. Yeah.
Last year, 2021. Okay. 2021. Yeah, it was either the last few months of 2020 or 2021. I don't know, somewhere there. Where I had like cemeteries of dead people walking past my house. It's like the guys. I don't have energy for this. Go away, please. So,
but also it's more of a psychic's work, you know. I feel like you are working in high dimensional planes. It's like not. But they just waiting for clearing?
No, I think they're waiting for the new earth. Because, it's an aspect of them that also sees these, you guys are...
so that they can ascend further as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I often have that like a curious, fun question in my mind, especially with the house that I live in. It's Om Sweet Om, so it's the healer's house. People are always here, like, we're helping hands, and obviously I've got Tongo here at the moment who's working a lot with the ancestors, and I always often I'm like, thank God I don't see in that way, because I would love to know how many. And do they stay around here and they're like, yes, these are our people. They're doing the work. Like, this is our home base etherically in 105 Berg Road, just a higher dimensional aspect, So
well, you have your gift. So just because, you have your gift, you just focus on that.
Yeah.
You ground yourself in that.
Yeah. Well, should we close it there? We're almost at an hour. So, guys, thank you so much for listening again to Galactic Conversations. Keep your heads above water this February.
Yeah, I think there's quite a bit of what I do see is a pot, in the witch's brew.
Yes.
So I see not the witch standing there, but I see that pot, that cauldron. I think it's called a cauldron.
Yes.
And there's this, it's almost like a whirlwind that's turning, and there's some heavy stuff there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I see.
Thank you, guys. Lots of love. Thank you.
Lots of love.
Cheers.
Namaste.
Bye.
Bye.